Alhamdulillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayh. Wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. May yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa may yudlilhu fala hadiya lahu. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam tabaraka wa sallama tasliman kasiran kasira amma ba'd. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wa man ahsanu qawlan mimman da'a ila Allah wa amila salihan wa qala innani minal muslimin. My dear brothers and respected elders and sisters, this lecture of mine is not meant only for Muslims. It also meant for the entire mankind. In other words, it's also meant for the non-Muslims. So, please listen to my lecture. This lecture is not meant only for Muslims. As done by almost all the scholars of the Muslim scholars in the world. When they make lecture, their lecture are meant for Muslims. So I'm about to, when I started the lecture, it's about to tell respected elders and sisters in Islam, but I stopped. I didn't say that. Say respected elders and sisters. My lecture is meant for the entire mankind. The Quran is meant for the entire mankind. Nabi Sallam said, Allah told to Nabi Sallam to tell to the entire mankind that He told him something like that. So Allah SWT Allah SWT told Nabi Sallam to tell the entire mankind. The Quran is meant for the entire mankind, but what happened? The Quran is not read by the entire mankind, not even read by the so-called Muslims. Those who read the Quran only reading it, they don't want to know what it means. They don't want to know what the orders of Allah being mentioned in the Quran. They don't even have the desire to obey the order. So what is the religion of Islam, which are now practiced by the so-called Muslims, the whole world? Naturally, it's not the religion of Allah. When you don't even know what Allah wants you to do, almost Muslim, the whole world do not understand the Quran. And what more to practice? So when you don't practice what Allah wants you to practice in the Quran, then the religion which you have embraced is unlikely to be the religion which Allah wants you to embrace, the religion of Allah. So Allah wants the entire mankind to embrace the religion of Islam, not only the person who have recited the kalima. Of course, the one who have recited kalima are known as a person who have entered Islam, who have decided to embrace Islam. Those who have not recited the kalima are the person who have not decided to embrace Islam or to enter Islam. But they still have to read the Quran so that they know who is their Lord. Some says the founder of Islam is Muhammad. The founder of Christian is Jesus Christ. This is wrong. The non-Muslim is writing. And they say, who is the founder of Hinduism? None. Islam is, Muhammad is not the founder. This is all misunderstanding which arises because the non-Muslim are not reading the Quran. And the Muslims are not propagating the Quran to be read by the entire mankind. Are not. They even They even tell that the non-Muslim cannot touch the Quran. If you don't have wudu, so how they have wudu? They are not Muslim, and you tell them you cannot read Quran because you are not Muslim. This is very something which is very bad. The Muslim, the so-called Muslim, do not want even to translate the Quran to other languages so that other people understand it. Only lately they are doing it. All the while they never do it. They only write in Arabic. They say this is holy language, cannot be translated into other languages. It's non-holy. So the only language is holy is Arabic. We speak Arabic and also in Akhirat. So we should only, the Quran should remain in Arabic and nothing else. Others should not know about Quran. And this is the attitude which has existed for centuries. That's the reason as to why the West are not embracing Islam. The East also is not embracing Islam. Islam is only in pockets of the Arabs, and the Malays and the Indians. You know why? Because they have conquered. They have conquered India, for 800 years. Not by the Arabs, by the converts. The Mughal who have embraced Islam. Then they attack India. They call Mughal dynasty. For 800 years nearly, India is ruled by. And that's why Islam spread there. And then the Malays who have embraced Islam through traders, So they preach them that Islam believe in the oneness of Allah. The Malays are originally the Jews. They know from their times, from their ancestors, that there is only one God. So when Islam come, and the missionaries, Islam come to Malaysia, why they come here? Because of trade. Because Malacca was the center of trade at that time, like Singapore now. So they embrace Islam. Other than that, where Islam goes? China? No. Japan? No. Europe? No. Africa? Those who knows Arabic. Those who doesn't know Arabic, Islam never spread. Because the Arabs, they thought the language of Islam is Arabic, nothing else. Other languages are non-holy, particularly English. There are some people say Arabic is the language of the Arab, of the Muslim. English is the language of the devils, the Chinese. So they can never have the understanding that this Quran should be translated into other languages, because they don't understand the very reason, as to why Allah have revealed the religion of Islam is for the entire mankind. So the Arabs stopped preaching the moment Prophet ﷺ passed away. They don't even think about preaching Islam the entire world. They only conquered lands, up to the northern Africa, and the Muslims of today are very proud of that. That this is the time of achievements, that Muslim can conquer lands so vast. And that's all. What is a conquerors of lands? We are not meant to conquer lands. We are not meant to amass wealth in this world. We are meant to preach Islam. And this unknown to the so-called Muslim from day one. They become Muslim. They don't know. And this is what the reason as to why Islam is not spreading to the west, to the east. Only to those lands whom the Arabs have conquered or making trades. The Arabs come to Malacca because this is a very entrepot. I mean, it's a very trading center, very important between China, which is at that time a major trading country, and the West. China come to Malacca. In Malacca, they exchange goods. They sell goods so that they will bring the goods to the West. At that time, only the world known America is not then. It's not exist at that time. So that's why Islam spread only this region. They don't spread to Europe. Yeah? Once they stop conquering until Yugoslavia, that's it, until Yugoslavia. Because the Turks conquered until then, that place and India. So that's why they come to conclusion that Islam spread by sword. Countries they don't conquer, Islam is not spreading. Why Islam spread with sword? Allah has never mentioned in the Quran that you have to attack people, country, and then you invite them to Islam. You know, the same Christianity, they also spreading Christianity not because they love the people, no. They want the wealth. So the Portuguese came to Malacca. They want to preach Christianity together with conquering. Even Christian, they took missionaries as a cover of their conquest of lands. They actually want wealth. At the same time, they want to make them Christians. So they, make the African people Christians. Some. So they spread Christianity in that way. Christian become the largest religion in the world. Because missionaries are working day and night. Yeah? They came to, but they are unable to make the Malays to become Christian. Very, very. Their effort to make the Malays Christian has almost failed. Until today, the Malays remain Muslim because they are the Jews. They are the children of Israel, descendants of Prophet Ibrahim, descendants of the prophets. They believe from that time when Jacob tell his children, which religion that you follow after my death. So all the children of Jacob told him, we will believe, adhere to your religion of the oneness of God. So out of the 13 children, son of Jacob, one son go to the east. So part of the descendants of that is the Malays and the Pathans probably, and maybe some people in India, I wouldn't know, Tibet. So my dear brothers, Islam has not been a religion of dawah, spreading like Christianity. Christianity, they believe it is, we have to spread Christianity. They've learned this from the time of Prophet Isa. There are two groups of the followers of Prophet Isa. One regard him as the son of God, one regard him as a prophet. But finally all of them become deviated. So the Christians, they learn from Prophet Isa. They need to spread Islam, but then it changed the religion to Christianity. That's why among Christian scholars, they are very, very strong in the work of preaching Christianity. But among the Muslim scholars, they don't even know that the work of dawah is their work. The Muslim scholars don't even know that dawah is their work. You can see now, Who among Muslim scholars doing preaching? None. They're just conquering lands. And the people in the land in which they have conquered get impressed with the religion of Islam and they become Islam. They basically don't do any preaching at all. The Muslims are only conquering lands. The work of dawah is not their main work. They stopped dawah after they have conquered the land and they got wealth and then they're busy. You know, that's why we have stories, epics that in Islamic literature about and kings enjoying every night with women. They don't preach Islam. Even the Mughal, when they converted to Islam, they rule India. They don't preach Islam to the Hindus. The Hindus are impressed with Islam. So the Muslim scholars do not really understand that the purpose of becoming a Muslim is to discharge the responsibility of reciting the great kalima, which is to call people, to invite people to Allah. They don't know this. So they are blind. You know, even the converts, the Malay, the Indians, even those Northern Africa, they also become people who are ignorant of the fact that Islam, the same as the religion of Prophet Isa, we are the religion of dawah. We should become like the followers of Prophet Isa. We call Hawarin. They are preachers and come down now to the Christians. They are preachers. At least their scholars knows that their religion is to preach Christianity. Why they have this understanding? Because they used to become the followers of Prophet Isa, Muslim. Rasulullah teach them that. In Surah Yasin is the time of Prophet Isa. The person who come from away from the city, Prophet Isa sent 2 persons who is not a prophet, is his followers, to give dawah. Then the people reject the 2 persons, then he sent another one. Then there is another person from far place come down to tell his people, don't go against these people. They kill him. We all are followers of Prophet Isa. They are all doing dawah. And that should be done by the followers of Muhammad SAW too. Muhammad SAW told them, but after the demise of Rasulullah, they engaged themselves more in battles, in wars. They forget now. Once you have wars, you have booties, you have wealth. Once you have wealth, you forget now. But Prophet Isa do not go with law. They don't attack countries, isn't it? So they don't have booties. And they resort to the followers of Prophet Isa. They resort to making themselves disdain or making themselves distant from the worldly things. They tend to become hermits. They tend to make themselves in solitude, reverting themselves only to spiritual deeds. But the followers of Rasulullah, after his demise, embark on war. That's the reason why they leave dawah. So they conquer country after country. They don't do dawah. People are impressed with Islam. They converted to Islam, not that the Muslims do dawah. They're more in conquering lands and having wealth. So when the followers of Muhammad is indulging in the pursuits of wealth, they certainly will forget the work of dawah. the followers of Prophet Isa doesn't indulge in war, in acquiring booties. So the work of dawah perpetuated among them, at least to their scholars. So when dawah perpetuated in the followers of Prophet Isa, when later on they become Christian, Christian spread. The people of Jamaat Tabligh, when we start the work of Jamaat Tabligh, we think we are doing the work of dawah. We are not doing the work of dawah. We don't even preach the non-Muslim. Dawah means to preach people to recite the kalimah. The words, the verses, kuntum khaira ummatin ukhrijat linnas. Allah told to the people who have recited the kalimah, kuntum, men or woman. You are the best nation being sent for the entire mankind. For what? To invite them to recite the kalimah. To prevent them from evil. That means do not want to recite the kalimah. And when you do this, your iman will become strong. So in this verse of the Quran, dawah means to call people to accept kalimah. And after accepting the kalimah, to do the work, we will fulfill the haqq of reciting the kalimah. But those people who have entered Islam during the time, in the ancient time, after they reciting the kalimah, they don't even do anything. They leave them as such. Don't even ask them to fulfill the right of reciting the kalimah. Do not even ask them to do the work of dawah. Only reciting the kalimah and pray. And so Islam is just a picture from day one. A picture after Nabi Sallam has passed away, and all the Sahaba who learned Islam from Nabi has passed away. Islam remained a picture. They only recite the kalimah and they pray with no soul. They didn't even do any work of dawah. Dawah is foreign, alien to the so-called Muslims. So dawah has never existed, in its true form. Because after the demise of Rasulullah, the Muslims are engaged more in war, acquiring booties. That's why the love of the world have entered their heart. Not long after Nabi Sallam has passed away, they already turned. The Muslims fight with each other at the time of Sahaba, at the time of the time of Osman. They even kill him. They kill Hadrat Ali some more. Hadrat Hassan, Hadrat Hussein. What do you mean they are doing dawah? If they have been doing dawah from the day one after the demise of Salam, like Rasulullah, they certainly become the true believers of good deeds. They will have love, affection, but they don't. Instead of having love and affection between them, they have war between them. At the time of Osman, it's not long after the demise of Rasulullah, and they kill Hadrat Ali too. And the children of Nabi Hassan and Hussein are killed. How could Islam flourish? Islam already dead. But then, 30 years after the demise of Rasulullah, if we calculate, the time of Abu Bakr is 2 years, Omar is about 12 years. It's only 14 years. Then Osman, half of the time is okay. Then after that, in turmoil. 12 years plus 10 years probably. 22 years. Not even 20 years. The love of dunya have entered their heart once they go into war. Collecting booties. They don't doing the work of dawah. Like Muhammad SAW. They don't do. So, has never been alive. And people still, the stories of the Sahaba is the stories of Sahaba during the time of Nabi SAW. If the stories of Sahaba after the demise of Rasulullah, we cannot follow. Because Nabi SAW was not alive at that time to tell them what you are doing is wrong. If the Sahaba lived during the time of Rasulullah, then Nabi SAW will tell them what you are doing is wrong. But to follow the Sahaba and their action after the demise of Rasulullah is wrong. So we shouldn't follow the action of the Sahaba after the demise of Rasulullah by conquering countries after countries. We shouldn't do that work. Yeah? Even Abu Bakr, when some people do not want to become Islam, become apostate, do not want to pay zakat, he said, I fight him. I will fight them. He shouldn't do that. If at the time of Rasulullah they pay zakat with the camel and the rope, now he only pays zakat with the camel, I will fight. Now see, fighting start already. Omar said, forget about them. We settled this problem of the death of Rasulullah. He struck the breast of Omar and said, you have become coward now. You see? Even that time, understanding to fight is already there. Abu Bakr was a very soft person, All of a sudden, during that time, he became very, very, brave. He said, if you all do not want to go and fight, I will go. So he went with them for 3 days and then he come back. He is the Khalifa. So start fighting. Because they've been fighting all the while. During even the time of Rasulullah, they've been fighting against the Quraysh. They went to Medina. Even then, when they were not fighting, Nabi Sam never asked them to fight. Allah never told them to. But after they left Mecca, they went to Medina. They attacked Nabi, Badr, Uhud, and several battles. So the Sahaba has been so used with fighting. They cannot understand the basic, the basic fundamental. Islam is a religion of peace, love and kindness. And the work which Muslim must do is the work inviting people to Allah with love and kindness, which Nabi Sam done in Mecca. Nabi wants to do that, but the Quraysh of Mecca never let him to do. So when they want to fight against the Sahaba at the battle at Badr, Allah ordered Nabi Sallam to repel them, to also prepare the Sahaba to attack them, to kill them. That's how the war keep on going in Uhud, in so many. Then the Quraysh of Mecca, not only they themselves attacking, but they took the Jews, other tribes of the Arab to attack Nabi Sallam at Khandaq and at many other wars. So they make everyone attacking. So the Sahaba is so used to war. After the demise of Nabi Sallam, they don't understand that the work is to go from house to house, door to door, person to person. No more gash, no more jawla. So there were, even at that time of the Masjid, the Romans, the Romans, they were Christian. Their priests tell to the Romans, we shouldn't attack the Muslim now. We wait until their prophets die, because the help of Allah is not with them when the prophet have died. So they say we delayed our aim to attack Medina. So when Prophet Salam was about to die, the Romans want to attack already. Nabi Sam knows. They already arranged an army to attack Medina. That's why he prepared that. Because they want to attack. That's why Nabi Salam prepared the army. Omar wasn't there. Then he passed away. Then Abu Bakr sent them. The Sahaba, we don't have to send, because it's only during the time of Nabi, not now. Said no. Whatever Nabi ordered must be executed. So the Romans came, they attacked. They were very small in number, and yet Allah helped them, because at that time war is ordered, done by Nabi Salam. But all other wars which they do after that is ordered by Abu Bakar lah, and Omar. So continue the what do you call it? The habits of attacking. They don't understand that Islam is preached by God. Islam is spread by the work of Dawah. Dawah is the way of Nabi Sallam in Mecca, going with love, kindness, not injuring anybody, not killing anybody, not doing harm to anybody. Even if you say anything bad, be patient. It's all in the Quran, but the Sahaba doesn't seem to understand it. So it's the Dawah immediately stop the way Muhammad SAW. So they invented new method of Dawah, which is attacking country and telling them enter Islam. If not, give us money, jizya. If not, we'll attack you. See, this method are not shown by Nabi SAW. It's not sunnah. You know. So once they do like that, the love of dunya comes. Because they you know, in our guys we can't even ask for money, you know, from people. We say, give me money. If we do that, the love of dunya will enter into us. One of the law order in Gash, you don't accept money. Now the Sahaba say, embrace Islam, otherwise give money. And then you understand or not? If not, we'll fight you. Then they fight in 3 days. After 3 days of giving dawah to the king, Sahabas should stop that. They should send dawah, missionaries. And they should not attack any country at all who doesn't want. It's okay to attack the Romans, because the Romans want to attack them. But what other countries? They shouldn't. They stop. They should do the work of dawah like in Mecca, like the time when nobody want to attack them. So that's why dawah died. The work of dawah with love and affection from door to door, from person to person, died. Until Maulana Ilyas Rahmatullahi. Then Allah asked Nabi Sallam to teach him. This is what is being taught to Maulana Ilyas by Rasulullah, is the work of Gash, the work of Jawla, for 3 nights. See, out of the lecture or anything that Nabi have taught me, I only can understand 10%. Then the people who listen to him understand nothing, 0%, like you now. After I give bayan, I ask, how much you understand? 0%. So most of you. Same, Maulana Ilyas. He listened from Nabi Sallam. He understands 10%. His student understand 1%, 2%, 0%. That's why Tabligh, after his demise, changed also. From doing Gash, Jawla, from door to door, house to house with love, to the non-Muslim, to the Muslim, they turn out different way. You know, they say we go and do Gash to collect Muslim and give lecture, and we only do work on Muslim, not non-Muslim. Cannot do work on non-Muslim now. It's not time yet. We have to you have to make the Muslim become good. So that's why Tabligh resort not to the work of Prophet, to their own work, like Sahaba, and not resorting to Gash and Jawla, resorting to war, thinking that is dawah. Similarly, the people of Tabligh, after Maulana Ilyas died, they do Jawla, but to collect Muslim, give them lecture and ask them to go 40 days, 4 months, and it become until today. Then only I change it. Allah give me ilham, telling me that all what has been done by the Tabligh after the demise of Maulana Ilyas is wrong. is deviated path, and we will never change, to achieve our excellence until we do exactly what Allah wants, as told in the Quran and as practiced by Muhammad SAW. So we have to make the work of dawah on this basis of love and kindness, going to people, to everyone. The non-Muslim, you must call them, to invite them to recite the kalimah. After they accepted the kalimah, must tell them to do the work of dawah. The Muslim have recited the kalimah, they don't do the work of dawah. We must invite them to do the work of dawah and to pray 5 times, obligatory. The man in the mosque, the woman in the house. This is what we should do. We don't go for war. We don't attack anybody. We don't go and tell people, you say enter Islam or not, give us money. If not, we fight you. Will we be able to do that now? You think? If that is the work, we want to copy the Sahaba, we will not be able to do it. Possibly Sahaba during that time they are able to do it, but they still cannot do like that. He has to do the way Muhammad SAW. So we must stick to the Sunnah of Rasulullah, not the Sunnah of the Sahaba. We have to delete that if we want to attain excellence and excellence in our practice of Islam. To attain excellence, there is no other way except the way which Allah has shown in the Quran to the Prophet. We must understand the Quran. We read the Quran. Nothing has mentioned that you fight people and force people to accept Islam, except for Prophet Sulaiman. Allah allow him, to tell to Zulaika and to what they call it, to the queen, what's his name? Balkis. You must submit to Allah, the God who is one. If you don't, I'll bring you an army that make everybody become downtrodden. He was giving warning, you come. He was allowed to do that because Allah have given him such a great power. And why Allah allow him? Because Balkis will never go and war with Sulaiman. He was only to scare her, because nobody will fight with Sulaiman. You go into ashes because you got so much army, even the jinn. How can you attack him? Cannot. So Balkis resolved to sending present. They asked an envoy to go and send present. Sulaiman said, I don't want this. I want her to come here. And she came. And the story follows. Then finally, she became Muslim and married with Sulaiman. But no circumstances. Allah says that you go. That was only a story, of the prophets of ancient time. But never ever in the Quran asking us to go and attack any country who doesn't want to become Islam. We can't even force people to become Muslim. We are not allowed to force people, anybody, to accept Islam. We must invite them with love, kindness, and give them a chance. The choice either to obey or not. If they don't, it's all up to them. Allah never say we have to force people to. There's no compulsion in religion. That's clear. Allah have made that to be His choice. He has created man and has given the choice. Because Allah want to know as to who from among men who are truly the lover of Allah, who is truly the one who is obedient to the orders of Allah. And for them, Allah has assigned Jalan or paradise. So those who decide not to believe in Allah, their decision will make them to be thrown into the hellfire. Whatever consequences a man will bear depends on the action which they have chosen to do. It's not forced to do, chosen. So everybody is free either to be deviated or to be on the straight path. It's your choice. If you choose to be in the wrong path, you certainly will go to hellfire, and you will not have happiness in this world. If you choose, to submit your will to the will of Allah and become the lover of Allah, either in this world you will have peace and happiness, and also in the hereafter you will have abundance of peace and happiness.